Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Bible League Competitive Life. I am Charles Chapman, a coffee drinking, sports loving Pacific Northwest native from the greater Seattle, Washington area, transplanted onto the plains of Oklahoma, talking everything sports related. Guys, we're coming to you today. It is February 2nd, 2020, the dreaded but also much anticipated end to another great football season. College football ended a couple weeks ago. Now here we are, the culmination of the National Football League season. It's the Super Bowl. And it's an unofficial holiday, but let's be honest, it's an official holiday to us sports fans and even other fans as well. We take the day off from work, we gather our friends, we sit down on the couch, or we go down to the local sports bar, we get our food, we get our drinks, we get our friends, we sit down and we watch football. Some people are there for the football game, some people are there for the food, some people are there for the commercials, some people are there for the halftime show. But the reality is everybody's got something that they anticipate and look forward to the most about this day. So here we are. It's Super Bowl Sunday, guys. I'm excited. I hope you are too. But let's going to get down to it. I want to give you my thoughts today. Who I like, what I like about both teams, what I dislike about these teams, who I think is going to win the game. Ultimately, I'll leave that at the end of my show. If you follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook at My Overly Competitive Life, or on LinkedIn and Twitter as Charles L. Chapman, you probably already know who I picked in this game, and that's fine. But if you haven't, here's a chance to see what I think, what I like. And we're a couple hours down to kickoff right here. We're getting ready to go. But I'm going to give you my thoughts. And if you leave your comments below, I'd love to hear your predictions, who you think is going to win this game and why. And afterwards, come at me after the game. Come back in here, leave your thoughts. Tell me what I was wrong at, what I was right about. If you want to talk some smack, that's fine. Cool. Let's have some fun. But share this with your friends. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. But anyway, guys, we're going to get into it today. This game should be pretty darn good. I think it's going to be a great matchup. We got San Francisco on one hand, having beaten Minnesota and Green Bay to get to this game. Two dominating performances, by the way. And then Kansas City Chiefs representing the AFC. They got in after being an offsides penalty away from making it to the Super Bowl a year ago against the New England Patriots. Of course, the Patriots went on to win that Super Bowl. And this year, Kansas City has finally got back to this big game. They finally got over that hump. And here they are. They had to come from behind against Houston. Big 24-point deficit there. And had to come from behind 17-7 against Tennessee in the hottest running back in the National Football League, Derrick Henry, last week or 2 weeks ago in the AFC Championship. So that's how both these teams have gotten here. And let's see what I think about them. I'll give you my thoughts. First of all, I got to tell you, the San Francisco 49ers, one heck of a turnaround, going from a team that couldn't win a lot of games last season to a team that made it to the Super Bowl this year. Had a lot of that. Of course, you have Garoppolo being back from injury. After he got hurt early last season, he's back, he's healthy, and he's playing pretty good. Had a little bit of an inconsistent stretch at some point in the regular season, which is a concern. But the big thing for me as to why they've got a legitimate shot, what got the San Francisco 49ers at this point, is drafting Nick Bosa. And that front seven, especially that front four for San Francisco, is elite. It's one of the best front fours in the National Football League. That front seven is amazing, and the big reason why that team is so good. And let's face it, Richard Sherman, a cornerback who's a very elite, tore his Achilles and left Seattle, took a gamble, signed a contract that was full of just incentive-based. It wasn't even a big guaranteed money contract with San Francisco. It was incentive-based because he knew he was going to be able to do stuff. He's been number one or number two in just about every statistical category since he was drafted in the National Football League. And a lot of people sit there and say, especially this week, Richard Sherman's not fast enough to cover the Kansas City Chiefs receivers, their tight ends, their running backs, and I got to laugh at that. This is a guy that is a Stanford product. He's a smart guy, and there's a reason why he's been the best cornerback in the National Football League, basically since he came into the league, because he's smart. He's not just talented. He's not just fast. He's not this or that. It's because he's smart. And you don't get to where he is without being smart. He knows how to play. He knows how to study film. He knows what to do in these situations. And whereas the Kansas City Chiefs, they're an offensive firepower team. Everybody knows it. Patrick Mahomes, 50 touchdowns a year ago. And this has been a team that's just been on a tear since they named him their starting quarterback. And a very good decision that was. And they're amazing on offense, all kinds of weapons. You got tight ends, you got receivers, you got running backs. This team can throw the ball all over the place. Patrick Mahomes with the no-look passes behind his back and all this stuff. I mean, it's just a freak of nature. It's amazing to watch. But my concern is with the Kansas City Chiefs defense. That's what it's going to come down to for Kansas City. It's not their offense. We know what their offense can do. They've came back twice in this playoffs, so we know what their offense can do. We got to see what can their defense do. That's what I want to see right now. And right now, for me, the last couple of years, the problem I have with Kansas City's defense is it's hit or miss. It's an inconsistent defense. Some days they're really, really good. Some days they're really, really bad. And case in point, you go down 24 points against the Houston Texans. That's not good. The Texans aren't that good of an offense. They're a great offense. They're not that great. But they know they can put up points when they need to. But when you go down 24 against them, that's bad. But on the flip side, they stopped the scoring there, and then they put on something like 48 straight points or something like that when they dominated them, put up 50 plus. And so that's actually not a bad deal. That's a credit to the defense. And then the following week in the AFC Championship, they go down 17-7 early against Derrick Henry and that bruiser running back and that offense for Tennessee. But so that was a concern. You get down early 17-7, but they stopped them at that point. They shut Derrick Henry down. He only had 69 yards rushing in that game. This is a guy that had consistently, I think, something like 150 plus yards rushing in his first two playoff games. Heading into that third game, he was the leading rusher in the playoffs this year, I believe. And so when they shut him down to get to that win and come back and win that game, that's a good testament to the defense for Kansas City. But it's just too inconsistent for me. It's a tale of two halves, so to speak. It's like watching the University of Oklahoma play football. They have a good first half and then they have a bad second half or something like that. It's scary bad and it's not really fun. Now, Patrick Mahomes, remember he was the MVP 2 years ago. A little bit of injury issues. He's come back from an injury earlier this season. He looks pretty good. In fact, he's the early favorite to win the Super Bowl MVP. A lot of people think he's going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. I don't think he will. But to his credit, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in these playoffs. So these two early deficits that they've been dealing with in the playoffs aren't on Patrick. He hasn't been turning the football over. He's been taking care of the football. In fact, it's on his defense. Giving up those points, the offense not moving the ball consistently enough early in the game. And that's going to really be bad for Kansas City tonight if they can't do that against the San Francisco 49ers. Because the San Francisco 49ers is one of the most tough defenses in the National Football League. I bet against these guys early in the season. They proved me wrong. And when I pick them to lose, they surprise me, so I'm not really sure I want to pick against the San Francisco 49ers anymore, to be honest with you. But another thing to that Kansas City Chiefs defense is they were the 26th worst, basically at the 26th worst run defense in the National Football League. And you're going up against the San Francisco 49ers that as long as they can run the football, they can control the clock, they can control possession, they can control the game, and they're going to play 49ers football at that point. Now, to the other effect, though, when you put the game in Garoppolo's hands, he's not very good at leading his team if he's the guy that has to throw the football. So if you stuff the running game like the Kansas City Chiefs have done at points in these playoffs, if you stuff the running game like they have done at points in these playoffs and put the ball in Garoppolo's hands, it's going to be a lot tougher for San Francisco to win this game because you force them to play 49ers football. And that's what's going to have to happen for the Chiefs. I'm sorry, force them to play Chiefs football. That's what's going to have to happen for the Chiefs. They're going to have to force the 49ers to play their game, which is a shootout, lots of points being scored, and that's really going to help them win this game. That's going to be a big key for them. But like I said, 2 comeback wins for San Francisco. Really inconsistent there, kind of concerning, whereas San Francisco, it's been smooth sailing for them in the playoffs. They dominated Dalvin Cook in the Minnesota Vikings in the divisional playoff round, 27-10. Dalvin Cook and that Minnesota team shut down the New Orleans Saints. So, big deal right there to be able to beat the Minnesota Vikings. And then next week, NFC Championship, they dominated Green Bay for the second time this season. So, beating the Packers 37-20 to get to the Super Bowl. San Francisco hasn't had a hard time getting to the Super Bowl. They've been really consistent with what they've done throughout the playoffs. There hasn't been any discrepancies in the way they play the game. There hasn't been any moments where it's like, oh no, what's going to happen? No, it's been really this is 49ers football that we're going to play here, and they do it very well. One of my biggest things earlier, I even felt like the 49ers weren't even going to make the Super Bowl. They were, to me, a team that was going to make it the divisional round and then get upset. Because when they lost Quan Alexander earlier in the season, I said, that's the end of the season. They're done. Whatever they could have accomplished, they're not going to do it without Quan. And they get out of the divisional round. Quan makes this, what Sports Illustrated called a legendary comeback from this injury. This is an injury that takes about 6 months to heal, usually. And Quan came back within a matter of weeks. And came back in the NFC Championship against the Green Bay Packers. He's healthy. He should play today. And he's the kind of guy, he's not a numbers kind of guy. When you look at the stat sheet, he's not going to be your leading tackler. He's not going to be your leader in sacks or interceptions or anything like that. But what Quan does a lot of very well is he fills these voids. He fills these gaps, and he fills schemes within the offense, holes in the offense, that forces teams to get away from what they do successfully and forces them to go to what they don't want to do, or their second or third option, which gives the defense plenty of time to either get to the quarterback or either to sack him or force an interception, or get to the running back and force this running back into a hold or race back towards the defense, and it's a stop for a loss versus a gain of 2 or 3 yards or a first down or a touchdown. So Quan, definitely a big piece for the 49ers to have back. Right now, the over-under for this game is 53.5 points. And the favorite, of course, like I said earlier, 1.5 points is the favorite. Kansas City is favored by 1.5 over San Francisco 49ers. Tonight, I got to tell you guys, love that offense, love Patrick Mahomes, really do. But I've got to go with Nick Bosa, Quan Alexander, and the 49ers defense. And we're going to see 49er football tonight. Now, I'm going to take the under on this one, and I'm going to say something like 29-27 San Francisco. 29-27 San Francisco. Likely this game might go to overtime. If not, it's definitely going to come down to the wire. It's going to be a good ball game. I don't project this being a blowout in any way, shape, or form, but there it is. There you have it, folks. San Francisco over Kansas City, 29-27. We'll see how that goes. 29-26, I'm sorry. 29-26. We'll see how that goes. And guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night. Hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe below, and comment. Let me know what you think. Whether you think I'm right or wrong, doesn't matter. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as the game's going along, and before the game, as the game's going along, and after the game is over, you come back and you call me out for whatever you want. That's cool. I'd love to hear it. Guys, until then, have a good night. Enjoy the game.